Yeah, they had us the first half. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Thursday, July 11th. I was for sure that day was wrong as I said it aloud. Holy crap. Closer to EA Sports, college football. Let's do it. I bought an Xbox this week. Spent a lot of money. Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, how much is an Xbox? I don't even know what the market value for one of those. It probably went up because of the college football game.
There was one that I think would, because all I'm going to do is play college football and FC, the new FIFA on it. So I didn't need anything fancy, quote unquote. There's one on Amazon that wasn't going to ship for like 3 weeks. That was only $350. I say only, I in relation to the cost of another Xbox. The one I picked up locally so that I could play college football upon its release, early release on July 15th, 16th. Was $500. So I am broke.
So you bought the early release?
Yeah. You think I'm gonna miss out on 3 days? Get out of here.
Yeah, I bought the standard edition. I'm like, nah.
Well, had to.
Because it's the 19th is on a Friday, right?
It is, but I'm gonna spend Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night playing it. I might even call in sick to work one day. I don't know. Yeah, I'm fired up for it. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I wasn't gonna wait through. I didn't have to wait 3 more days. I wasn't going to. It wasn't gonna happen.
I mean, we waited 10 years, I guess.
Correct. That's way too long. Got it smaller.
Just itching. You couldn't go 3 more days.
No, not a chance. I maybe you'll feel different. It would piss me off if I had to wait 3 days and then I watched other people play it. It worked.
Yeah.
The marketing worked.
Yeah, I've seen like some clips, and probably like during that 3 days where I don't get to play it and you are, I probably will feel a little bit of FOMO. But I think there's no
I get another control
back.
if you want and come over and play.
Okay, yeah, I'm down. There you go. I don't even have to
problem
buy
solved. Problem solved.
Did you buy the standard edition? Not standard. Did you buy the like the digital version?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna open the show with a joke about how this is our last show, and then we got into that. Now I don't think it would land. So this is our last show.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Unless you're excited about that, then you can think that.
Hello,
Yeah.
Normal Vault fan. Thanks for hopping in the chat here.
Yeah, we already got a standing O. I mean, I guess it's just an applause, but we'll call it a standing O.
I think it's a wave.
Oh, is it a wave?
Yeah.
Okay. Those emojis are very small on that screen. Also, can I get serious for a second too?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, but Monty Kiffin, football legend, guy that's had his thumbprint all over the college football world, football world, NFL and college football, passed away today. It's a guy that obviously spent some time here at Tennessee. Just wanted to offer my condolences to his family. And yeah, that's I hate that for the Kiffin family, and but I feel like he deserved a shout out, so I wanted to mention that. Sorry to get so serious at the start of the show. Like I said, I was looking at all the teams he's coached at. I knew it was a long list. Holy crap, it's a long list. So when I say like all over the football world, for real, he and like legendary programs as well. Nebraska, I think, was his first official coaching job. He's coached at the Cowboys, all over it. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, just wanted to mention that briefly.
Yeah. I don't know if he wanted to leave Tennessee. Whatever, but he was a coach here for yeah. He definitely wanted to stay. His heart was in Knoxville. His grandson's name is Knox, so definitely wanted to stay. But yeah, hate that, and yeah, as much as I despise Lane Kiffin, I hate that. Like, sorry.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean I hate him for football reasons.
Yeah,
sucks to lose your dad. So definitely thinking about him, and it's cool though. It is cool from that perspective. He's gotten to work really closely with his dad for so many years. That's got to be talk about like dream of being a coach at that level, and then getting to work with your dad, who's a legend as well. That's got to be really cool. So yeah. Going into less serious topics as we jump into the show. Sorry to go there.
Less serious? You kidding me?
I thought if we get going, it really brings it down if you jump to that. So I decided to do that off the rip.
Sure.
We're gonna talk some baseball, of course, and then I mean, yeah, we just talked about college football, the video game. Man,
I'm still a national champion, by the way. Are you?
I'll have to check, but I'm pretty sure. What does my hat say? It just says TV. But yeah, it is. He did not take the time to sign my hat like he did that woman's shirt. Just saying, Tony.
Yeah.
He was delicate with that thing. Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah. He had to do it. Yeah. That Maserati was just a little too fast.
It was a last second grab I threw out there, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, still national champ. Yeah, we're gonna talk about college baseball. 2025 is starting to round out. You're getting your transfers are starting to, you're just got to be close to finalized. Obviously with the draft, you still don't know exactly how your roster is going to shake out. You have a good idea, but you're getting the meat of it, I guess.
Sorry, what? Somebody just tweeted, said no reason to watch politics when more important issues is on. So
shout out. Who said that?
Yeah. Greg German.
Yeah, shout out to Greg German.
Yeah.
I was gonna say now. Oh, just that the 2025 roster's pretty much finalized. I mean, getting there with all the meat of it's finalized. Sorry, that's where the whole thing was going. The whole spiel.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the draft, you don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but while those are probably impact freshmen, if you lose them, it is freshmen. So it's the meat of your roster. You're kind of getting ironed out right now.
Yeah, I think with every team and every team that Tony's had so far is like the main focus is to have like the guy, like the captain, if you will. Like I know like no one likes the Yankees other than me that probably listen to this podcast, but they do have like the captain. I don't have to use the Yankees. I can use LSU. They kind of do it. But having like were
you going to name a Yankee? That's my question.
Aaron Judge is the captain. Like
okay, that's a better. I thought you just tried to find a way to name drop Derek Jeter in the most random way possible. I was like, that's the most Yankee fan thing of all time.
Aaron Judge.
Anytime you can bring up Jeter, you do it. It's a buzzword. It's like a political debate. You got to drop in Derek Jeter. You just feel like it remind everybody you're a Yankees fan.
Was at one time. Yeah, there's some. There's more than just Jeter for sure.
Okay, I don't know if you remember Derek Jeter was a Yankee. Great Yankee. The best Yankee.
God, you kill me. I don't even know where I was going with that. Okay, I do know where I was going. Tennessee kind of has always had that like go-to guy. Getting Hunter Ensley back in this lineup with what he's, the experience he has and just like a guy that's been there. You're going to have a lot of talented freshmen. We talked to Ben McKee last episode about some freshmen Tennessee has, some guys in that could go to the draft. We'll have to just wait and see if they make it on campus. But I think what's helped those young guys along and be able to kind of be themselves when they get to campus is the guys in front of them, the go-to guys like Hunter Ensley, like Christian Moore Blake Burke were to Dean Curley and Tigua and Dylan Moy and some of those guys. It's always great to have that veteran presence, and Tennessee was going to lose a lot of starters in that lineup, and they are going to lose a lot of starters. But having somebody other than just Dean Curley coming back and Hunter Ensley, which was 2 everyday starters for Tennessee, I think is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And
defensively, too. I mean, good God.
Yeah, I mean, having him roam the outfield, God, that helps a lot. Just gives you a ton of confidence. That's and I guess we'll just start with Hunter Ensley. We won't go right down our list since we've hit on it so much already. Yeah. To get him back, to get a guy like that, it's usually when you see he's a little bit of a surprise. I don't know how much of a surprise because there's obviously some chatter about it, but a surprise at the very least. Mm-hmm. Usually it's one of those like my work's not finished yet. You maybe like guys you get close to national championship or you sniff it or something like that. To have a guy be like, yeah, my work's not done here. It's like you just won a national championship. You scored the winning run to win the national championship. You had the greatest play for Tennessee in Omaha, probably the greatest play in Omaha. Yeah, I mean, for it to be about making this program better, it says a lot about the guy as a teammate. So I mean, it's a guy you want to play with, guy if you're Tony Vitello, a guy you want to coach. So yeah, I mean that's incredibly special, and he's a legend. And I think a lot of guys would. I think it talks about the competitor he is, because I think a lot of guys, if they had even just like a decent chance to get drafted and get paid pretty good, they'd be like, do I really want to come back and risk not being who I was when I played that good in Omaha, when I made that catch in Omaha, when I scored that? I think a lot of guys would almost run from that and say, I'm good. I don't need to risk that to be like, no, I'll come back and top it. I'll come back and be better.
Yeah.
That dude's a competitor. Like the dude just wants to play.
Yeah, and I think Tennessee means a lot to him, and I think the fact that he is going to be the guy is very appealing to him. You know, like he turned down opportunities to go pro.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure there was a lot of talks about him, you know, meeting with teams and then asking his asking price if they were to draft him in the later rounds, and I'm sure he could have got a shot somewhere. But I think there is something to say to be that like top dog in the lineup, to be like he has every opportunity to be Christian Moore next year. I mean, I don't know if anybody has a season like Christian Moore had, but he is absolutely that guy in the dugout where you're like, man, we need a hit right here. Who are you looking to? And it's Hunter Ensley. He's going to be right there in the middle of your lineup. I think he batted 5th the majority of the year. So I think, and then, you know, the glove is always going to play no matter kind of, the bat's just kind of been an added bonus, but the way he played in the NCAA tournament, he hit .439 in the NCAA tournament, 4 home runs, 3 doubles, drove in 11 runs and scored 11 runs. So, I mean, when it matters the most, it seems like Hunter Ensley can turn it on, and you saw that on full display with the plays you talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we do start a rumor about him that he got offered, I don't know, like $1 million signing bonus and Alaska fishing boat as a part of the deal. And he's like, no, I want to come back to Tennessee. And if Tennessee does win a national championship, I think not only does Huntington have to throw a parade again, I think he gets a parade in Nashville at the state capitol. I think we go national with it. I think they'd march him through DC.
Okay. I'm in.
Yeah. Does a college baseball team get invited to the White House? They don't. I know the answer, but
that seems messed up. They should get an invite. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'd want to go to the White House. I know
I'm a person.
I'm not here for political reasons, but like
that's not, in my opinion, that's not politics. If you win, I feel like you go. Like that's just like you do it. And people make it political. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like
you
go to the White House. You go to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, baby.
It doesn't seem like Tony Vitello is too worried about the White House. He's worried about next year. So
Yeah, it'd be pretty sick if he was at the White House.
I don't think he can go to the White House because if he does,
Is he on a list?
no, I think they might try to get him to run.
They might at this point. I saw some people talking about that. Like, how do we write in, Tony? And I was like, no, we win a national championship. Did I tell you I got my Cokes? Did I show you this? I mean, they're not as cool as the old ones, but it's still cool.
It is cool.
Very small, very little.
Is is that the ultimate national championship if he wins as a ride-in?
Who wins president after that? Yeah, for sure. I mean, that would suck for us. I also saw, I don't remember what it was on Twitter or one of the forums. If you could only guarantee 2 more national championships in your life for Tennessee, what sports would they be? It's like you want to experience one of everything, right? You want football, basketball next.
Yeah.
You want 2 in football. You don't ever want to experience a Final Four weekend winning it.
I think I might want another baseball. I love doing that. That was awesome.
It was fun, but I think I want one of each.
Okay. I mean, I'm not dogging you. I don't think that's a wrong answer.
If you tell me it has to be 1 and 2 sports, it's football, baseball.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you with that. Yeah.
If you have 3, so you already got 1. You have 3, has to be divided up between 2 sports: football, baseball.
Yeah.
I don't think there's another parade as much, not as much fun. That's not the right word. As cool as what we experienced that Tuesday after the game.
I just think like the way Tennessee dominated this season is like, if I could get that in basketball and football, I'm all in. Like just a dominating year. And
it was dominating, but it wasn't so dominating where 2022, it was like, this team is definitely going to win it all.
Yeah.
It was they kind of went about their business quietly. Yeah, I mean, they got tripped up along the way. It's baseball. It's a different sport. But, they had plenty of rubber matches. So they were right. The teams were right there in it to win series. But at the end of the day, they always came out on top. I think that'd kind of be fun. A couple close games, maybe drop one to another good team. I think that'd be a ton of fun. In fact, I think it's better than just – so I was watching this video today of like the greatest – it was that, that girl that tweeted that, why do boys love sports so much?
Yeah.
It was one of those videos where it showed it and then showed college football's greatest endings or whatever. Alabama was on the losing end of like 3 of them. Didn't have a winning of a single one. And that's Alabama fans, of course you do that. You hate Alabama. I think part of that is when you're so dominant, you don't get to experience those moments.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I would never want to lose 15 straight, 16 straight, whatever it was, don't even remember. It was kind of fun to be a part of the one that won it. Not a part of it. That's not the right word. I wasn't a part of that team. But the girl that got punched by Jermaine Burns, she was part of it. She earned whatever you say. But you get see field goal posts come down. That's you can't do it if you go on a run like Nick Saban did. Not allowed.
That's true. Well, and I heard that today, and I've heard it a couple times. It's like, I mean, you see a guy win a national championship, you really want to know his buy-in. What's he doing after he wins another one? I mean, dude just went and just freaking raided the portal.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about a signing bonus. I haven't seen this discussed. Do we think he's like, or not his signing bonus, his contract extension?
Mm-hmm.
What are the chances he's telling Danny, like, have you considered donating that to the collective instead of my paycheck?
Yeah, he's like, I get paid plenty.
Yeah. He's like, what do you think?
Knoxville's getting pretty expensive, but it's not that bad.
Right. He's or he's just putting it towards stadium renovations.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, just pay for groceries or something. Like I'm
what about that more important issues porch in right field? Have you considered putting that up, Danny?
Yeah. We just need a 2-man porch.
Yep, that's it. That's not big.
No,
we can build it actually. Just give us
Joey. Joey goes with us too.
Make it 4 so we're comfortable. That's not a lot of space.
Yeah, so it would be perfect for 3 people.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like that couch. Like it's big enough for 4, but it's really just big enough for 3.
Yeah, we like the man spread.
Exactly. Just allot us the space Just say, this is yours. We'll come in and we'll build it. I know some blue-collar guys.
Yeah.
We'll get that thing up. We'll get that sucker up there.
Mm-hmm.
It might not pass inspections, but it'll hold.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's like not slowing down at all. And then somebody told me, it's like, I hope before he gets a woman, he gets us like 2 or 3 more.
Well, it's kind of what we said about how addicting winning national championship is. Don't ever let me do crack. That's what Tony's thinking. He's like, if I don't continue winning national championships, I may fall to crack. And if it's as addicting as this, well, I'm in trouble. I mean, I'm screwed. Crack's a little harder to come by than winning, or a little easier to come by than winning national championships. Tony didn't say that, by the way. That wasn't a quote. That wasn't a direct quote. Just to kind of clarify that out there. I mean, he's not Mike Gundy. He's not.
Yeah.
What an all-time quote. Do you have that for stupidity?
No, I got some stupidities though. There's quite a bit out there this week. So
who do you think drops the closest thing to a Mike Gundy next week? SEC Media Days is coming up.
Oh, I can't wait to listen to some stupid comment Drinkwitz says.
Drinkwitz, he'll drop nothing as dumb as Gundy. It'll just be very, very cringe worthy. It'll be a sad moment.
It'll be like a Travis Scott like lyric, and you're just like, oh, okay.
He's probably on the. You think it'll be Travis Scott? Who I feel like it's
like Tony like flows when he like implements like pop culture references. He just like lets it flow. Drinkwitz will like pause and be like, "Did you guys hear that?"
Tony does his Tony also has really, really obscure ones.
Yeah.
He doesn't have.
It's just like
there's
like,
almost.
Oh,
you mentioned Travis Scott. I think Drinkwitz will go way more pop culture than that. It'll be like Kendrick Lamar, someone who's insanely popular right now.
You're not like us.
Yeah, they're not like us.
Yeah,
we stand on business.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Beamer may say something close to as stupid as Gundy. Probably not as dumb. Beamer's a good one, Jeff Harrison. That's a good one.
I love that Gus Malzahn was like, this guy and this
Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, but
Hugh Freeze will say something dumb.
Gus Malzahn already said KJ Jefferson is the closest thing that I've had to Cam Newton. I'm like, because he's
huge,
big, yeah, and black.
Oh.
I'm like, God, come on, Gus. It's like obviously he's not Cam Newton. Look at his career.
Cam Newton wasn't Cam Newton until he was Cam Newton.
That's true. I guess he did. KJ did get arrested, so maybe there is more.
Okay. More to it than meets the eye. Yeah. Something's cooking.
Some more parallels in that.
Yeah.
I initially thought, but yeah.
I like that.
I think Sam Pittman's going to talk about him like eating wings or something. Like it's just going to be just like a good
talk about his favorite restaurant in Dallas.
Yeah.
Clark Lee will probably drop a new banger.
He'll probably just like give like a halftime speech, like just a pump up. I could just see him just like tweaking when he gets to the podium.
I feel like he'd be a great private school. Has he considered going to Lipscomb or something? I feel like he'd be a really good private school, high school football coach. He just has that look about him, He could fire up some rich white kids.
Maybe you should talk to Hugh Freeze. He was one.
Yeah, true. In Tennessee. He knows his way around.
Yeah. Pruitt. I don't know if I think that's
that
a public
count.
school. He's coaching middle school girls basketball.
The 5th grade girls basketball team doesn't translate the same.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how the new guys do. Just at how they both have interesting jobs at A&M and Alabama.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, how many times are we going to hear Nick Saban and Kalen DeBoer's?
Oh my! I think he's going to get tired of it. I surely he's going to be asked about it a million times. How do you go with Nick Saban? I mean, I hope at some point he goes full Mike Gundy and just goes on a tirade about how we're not talking about Nick Saban anymore.
Yeah, I hope he just like goes nuts, and he's like, also like, Roll Tide Willie, stop humping our mascot.
He loves Roll Tide Willie. He will not tell him to stop. Has he been humping? What's the name? Al? He's been humping Al?
Yeah, have you not seen that?
No.
He's like taking a picture with him, and he's just like humping him.
Bad look. I don't think they're related, so maybe good look. It's one step up.
I mean, I can't imagine who has been with Roll Tide Willie, so maybe it is a step up for him.
You think he has offspring? You think he's produced?
God.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Curious what that family tree looks like.
Yeah. I hope not.
What if they bring Roll Tide Willie to Dallas?
I just think like I don't think he could, because on the off chance that they're not Alabama fans, like I think
they'd kill him.
Yeah,
sacrifice
like,
him.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
So good on him for, I guess, not having offspring. Probably the safest bet out there.
We'll obviously talk about more SEC Media Days.
Love that we got from
next week
to Roll Tide Willie.
Yeah, quite the climb
in like 7 minutes.
We actually even almost got into our next topic with Tony Vitello in the portal. Like we started getting there, and then moved off. I don't even know how I love the show, just tangent, and it's July. Oh, talk about tangent season.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait till we're filling 2 hours. It's gonna be so much fun. You're never gonna be able to stop me.
I think Huntington, Tennessee should do another
parade for him coming back.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I agree. They should. I feel like small towns don't do enough parades. They do more than obviously big cities, but they don't do enough parades. Because they should celebrate stuff like that, and they don't.
Yeah, just like we'll do anything just to like hang out and
outside. Yeah, exactly. Like we'll close down the roads at a moment's notice. Like the Ace Hardware just had a big day. Parade. Yeah. I think anytime. Anybody
bought a house in the neighborhood?
Yep.
Parade.
Yeah. Paid off the mortgage? Parade. I agree.
I mean, really, like a couple bucks in gas, that's all parade is. Like it's nothing to have a parade.
Yeah, we do fireworks shows that cost thousands and thousands of dollars for nothing. And we're not doing parades at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
You can close down one road in a town. That's it. That's all you need. And everyone there has got a tractor if you want to put it in the back of a tractor. I said that. It should look like a hayride.
Okay.
Real country.
I think Marshall County did one for
they did
years as well. So
everybody's getting on. We should do a parade.
We should do a parade for ourselves.
Okay, I'm in. Just us two waving at no one. I don't even know who's driving in the scenario.
We could literally just do the same route that the baseball team did.
We get pulled over and we're like, sir, this is a parade.
You're supposed to be in front.
You can't sign other people's shirts if they don't want to. They looked at me. I assumed that's what they wanted.
I think we do it on like a Saturday where there's a lot of people outside and everybody's like, what is going on?
Instead of those foam baseballs, we're throwing like real baseballs at them hard.
Yeah.
Just beaming people with it. I think we should. And as much as I would ask y'all to show up and you wouldn't, because I don't know why you would, please don't, because I think that'd be funny. Actually, no, we need like 4 people to show up. We have 4 comments. So you guys have to show up to our parade.
Correct.
And anytime someone walks by you on the sidewalk, you have to like step in front of them and be like, hey, this is saved. Like anytime anyone crosses the street, like, no, this is my spot.
Yeah. All right. That's what we're doing.
It's a done deal. Do we get someone to drive, or do we rig up a system where we drive from the back?
Oh. No, I think credibility-wise, we have to have a driver. Like, if you have 2 dudes in the back and a driver, obviously it's a big deal.
Do we just go ahead and make the back a hot tub?
I just
while we're at it.
I love that some of those like cars had people in it, and there's people on the side who have no clue. Like, other than Tony, Like they had no clue like who any of those
was in the
people
car.
were. Yeah.
To be fair, some of the cars too were kind of conspicuous.
Yeah.
Like the one that Josh Elander was in. It kind of looked like they had just like slid into traffic.
Yeah.
Because it was just a Jeep, wasn't it?
No, he was in the back of a.
No, it was in the back seat.
Yeah, he was in the. It wasn't a Jeep. It was a car.
Oh, it was a car, not a truck.
No, he was in kind of like the same thing like Tony was in, except he was just sitting in the back seat and Tony was sitting on top of the seat.
Was it top down?
Yeah.
No, for some reason I thought I remember like looking into the car. Okay.
Richard Jackson was in something like that.
That may have been it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just kind of looked they like hopped into traffic.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like I could have been like, hey, Elander, scoot over a little bit. Let me sit
Yeah, no, that's even better. I'm with Jeff. We call an Uber. Yeah, I think
Special
we do that.
instruction, you put go
Drive
like
slow.
5 miles an hour.
You are the master of ceremonies and also the only car in this parade.
Yeah.
So the Grand Marshal is what you call him. You're the Grand Marshal and the only Marshal.
Yes.
We should get 2 separate cars.
Yes.
My Uber gets through a red light faster than yours, and we just now the plot's lost.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to stay right behind each other, or things could get weird.
Oh my gosh! All right, let's talk Portal. Before we do that, though, considering we got ahead of ourselves, let me tell you guys about our friends at Grade A Grounds. They're a local coffee roasting company in Kingsport, Tennessee. Owned and operated by 2 educators, both in the Johnson City area. Being educators, they not only wanted to make great coffee, they also wanted to do something that supported their community and students. Their main goal as a company is to give back to students in the area. They do that by donating 5% of all sales to a nonprofit organization called Coalition for Kids all over the Tri-Cities. That money goes directly towards keeping the classroom stocked for the necessary supplies needed for students. Another thing they do to kind of show off their community, every bag you'll see artwork made by students in those classrooms. It's an awesome way to display those artistic talents in the bags that also give back to those students. Another exciting thing they're doing right now, make sure you guys go check out their Twitter account. They have a contest. If you have a kid, or if you want to pretend to be a kid for this, you can make a logo for the Volsicle. Volsicle is dropping this football season. It's their limited edition. They only do it in the fall, and your child can be a part of the labels for the Volsicle. So Grade A Coffee, Grade A Grounds Coffee, you can get a chance to get in on the action. Go do it. Go check them out right now. They're hoping for a lot of submissions. They want to be able to show off a lot of artwork. Do you remember how many submissions they're taking?
As many as they can get.
Sorry. Like winners.
Oh, I do. No, I don't.
Okay. I can't remember off the top of my head. Go check them out on Twitter, though, and you can find where to submit that artwork. Really cool idea to get all Tennessee fans in on the action of the Volsicle. So do that and then be on the lookout for Volsicle. Also, while you're waiting on the Volsicle, you can purchase the Gold Medal Blend. That is a special blend made for the Special Olympics of Greater Knoxville and to benefit them as a part of our golf tournament that's coming up September 28th. Make sure you sign up for that as well. Shout out to Grade A Grounds. Go check them out right now. You can use promo code GOVOLS, capital G, capital V, GOVOLS for 10% off your purchase today. Go check out Grade A Grounds.
Do it.
All right.
All right, guys, we are dominating the portal as we speak. We'll get to the Ole Miss duo in a second, but first we got to mention guy from Niagara, Eric Radachak.
It's a great name.
Also, yeah, it sounds like a Pokemon. His last name does, which I love. Hit 396 for Niagara this year, 17 home runs, 71 RBIs, was Conference Player of the Year. I think my favorite thing about this guy, though, is he played baseball and hockey in high school.
That's sick.
Yeah, I mean, put him anywhere. Catcher, outfield. I mean, no offense to Hunter Ensley, but this guy loves to run through walls.
Yeah, he's done it.
Yeah. Enjoys it. Prefers it. So yeah,
Where's he
big
from?
get.
Wisconsin?
Yes. So going everywhere. Get him from everywhere. He also played like club baseball.
Is that different from travel baseball?
Like in college.
Oh, in college. Okay.
Yeah. So really
How does
good. Go ahead.
You say club, you mean not intramural, you mean club. Like for a team that's organized by the
That's
school,
what it
but
says.
not
Yeah,
okay.
I guess they like didn't have like an actual team, so I don't. Who else do you play? I guess would be my question. But
Well, I mean, like you have like Tennessee has a club hockey team. Like schools have club
Yeah.
sports all the time. Club rugby team. So it's a popular thing. I just didn't know. I was making sure you meant that kind of club and not intramural.
Yeah.
What do you bat? Do you have a stats from that? I feel like
I don't.
I feel like he probably dominated that.
It says he played at complete game for a club team. Played a total of 3 varsity seasons. Played 2 sport, also played hockey.
Oh, so I'm sorry. This is in college?
I thought it was in college. But
I
now
feel like this dude's done a lot, though.
But he went to University of San Diego and Arizona Western.
Okay.
Where he played in 32 games. Didn't have like a ton of stats, and then just like goes to Niagara for 1 year and lights the world on fire.
Greg German's confirming that he played that in college. Apparently played intramural softball too. Love to see those highlights.
Okay. Yeah, dude's a dog, and he is kind of a draft risk. Dude, he's also 23 years old. Like, there's not a ton of, is there really going to be a huge difference in him going to the draft this year and next year? Probably not. I know a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, you're going to lose all your leverage. I mean, you're already 23.
Yeah.
What's the difference in 23 and 24? You're still old.
Right.
So, and I think that was one thing with Hunter Ensley. Like, yeah, you could go, but like with Hunter Ensley, I think it's interesting because he's the most marketable player on that team next year. Like, I mean, we want to always talk about NIL and how that's like into like every decision, but I think this is different because I mean, when you're doing like preseason stuff, like the Weigels thing, when they're picking out like a player to do that with, I mean, who else are you going to go with?
Yeah, you almost have to go with Hunter Ensley.
Yeah, so I think that's a huge opportunity for him to capitalize on that and being one of the few returning players from last year.
I think they gave the final count on how many free Cokes were sold this year. Because they had to be thinking about halfway through, they'd be like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have picked him.
Yeah, they lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Worth it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. He had such a good year and they did that. They can take a little bit of credit for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The man just wanted to keep the $80,000 in free Cokes. That's okay. That's a little inflated because Cokes, they were selling 24 ounces. The markup on that's got to be insane. I wonder what that number is. That's also a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're giving the retail value. Still insane. He hit a lot of home runs.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like this first baseman. Also can play a little bit of outfield. I think if need be, but I think the plan is as long as he makes it to campus, he is probably your first baseman next year.
Yeah.
And then you go out and land the Ole Miss duo. Stolen from everybody. Florida, LSU, Arkansas, you name them. We beat them out for them.
They're going to Florida like an hour before they committed to Tennessee, and then they sucked as soon as they committed to Tennessee, which was interesting.
Yeah, right. I saw a article, and I forget who it was with, or I would give them credit, but they like interviewed an Ole Miss person like after, and all the Ole Miss person did was like, yeah, they weren't that good. Like they have issues. Like they could have been like good here, but they weren't. And yeah, and what I want to say is like they're like one of the top players in the portal. Like I mean,
Right.
Andrew Fisher was second team All SEC. I mean, you can't sit there and say that he wasn't good. Dude hit 20 home runs. He was about the only bright spot in that lineup for Ole Miss. I mean, they were bad.
Yeah, that team's just struggling, and then they don't know exactly what to do with, because they won a national championship just a few years ago. So it's hard to know the direction to go at this point. I honestly feel bad for them because it is hard to move on from a guy that won your national championship, but it also feels pretty clear what they have to do.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm alone in that. Maybe Ole Miss fans don't feel that way, but you should.
Right. It is fun being the cool team that, you know, there's people like beating down Tennessee's door. I mean, Ben McKee said that one kid just messaged him and said, I struck out Christian Moore.
Which I love, by the way. I love that. Hey, you remember that
shoot
the best
shot.
player you had last year? Struck him out.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of did that with Liam Doyle. We're like, yeah, he had 10 strikeouts against UT. So that's cool.
Yeah, but he's a really good player. He had played third, has played second some in his career, and also played a little bit of outfield. I think in a probably best case scenario, they have him play left field. Struggled a little bit at third base, kind of got taken out of the infield and was in that DH role because the bat's going to play. But had a total of 9 errors, I think, on the season. So not fantastic numbers at the hot corner. And plus there's going to be competition there. It's not like it's wide open for somebody. I mean, Dean Curley's kind of been the guy that you're thinking he'll slide over and, you know, it's his probably natural position and play third, and Antigua and Keelan will play second and shortstop. But I mean, it's going to be, I think you get everybody here and see kind of piece it together. I don't think anything's perfect. I think that's why you have reserves and you have depth. You have talented young guys to push those older guys. And Tennessee's got a lot of that. Whereas like a few years ago, didn't really have a ton of depth. You know, when people were going cold, they were just staying in the lineup, where you have somebody right now that's on your heels every single day.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be a puzzle piece season again, kind of getting the right pieces in the right place to be successful. And not to steer away too much from the transfers, but I'm also really excited for Ariel Antigua to hopefully stay healthy and see him from the get-go, because there's a lot of excitement. I think we talked about that a little bit with Ben McKee. A lot of excitement around him preseason, and then that injury just hampered him. Hopefully the bat can be good enough, because the dude looks like a stud at short.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think if the bat's there, I think there's no doubt he's probably your shortstop. Now you do have some freshmen coming in that's probably going to push him a little bit. And I think that's a good thing. I think if you're not at Tennessee because you hate competition. I mean, obviously they just won a national championship. People want to come here. So, yeah, but I think Tennessee's got options where a couple years ago it was very limited on who else they could put in those positions. So there's a big drop off. Whereas now I think the way you're recruiting right now is there shouldn't be much of a drop off. Kind of like when Bargo came in when Billy was hurt, like he played pretty well, played a good third. Like it wasn't like a huge hole in the lineup.
Yeah, absolutely.
With Billy out. So looking for that. And then you also land these two were roommates in Ole Miss, which is awesome that it was just a package deal. Liam Doyle.
They were roommates.
Yes. Stepbrothers.
Vine.
What?
That was a Vine quote.
Oh. I was just saying, yeah, whatever.
You were doing synonyms.
Yeah. It's weird. These two guys were both in the state or in a Carolina for their first year in college baseball. Fisher was at Duke, and then Doyle was at Coastal Carolina, and then both chose Ole Miss out of the portal. Tennessee really wanted Liam Doyle out of the portal last time around, and I think Tony Vitello, after Doyle pitched against Tennessee in the season, he said, I'd kill to have had that kid in our program. That's because he had 10 strikeouts and I think 3 hits against Tennessee in 6 innings. So he was dominant. And that you see the talent. I mean, the ERA's up there a little bit more than you'd like, but I think a lot of his issues was he was playing on a bad baseball team.
Not good. Not a good baseball team for sure.
84 strikeouts, 35 earned runs, only 21 walks. Just got to be a little better locating that fastball that he loves to throw. It's not blowing it by people, but the way he throws his off-speed stuff, it just makes that fastball look so much quicker than
what does he sit at?
It's lower 90s, 92, 93 probably. But got some great stuff. I mean, I sat there and watched him mow down the best lineup in the country. Yeah. And it was pretty impressive. I was just like, who the heck is this guy? Because you see him on the mound. He's not he's not that big. He's kind of a smaller dude. But he just was shoving that day. So already kind of knows
like Lindsey Nelson.
Yeah, knows the mound a little bit at Lindsey Nelson, and Andrew Fisher had a big weekend against Tennessee as well. A left-handed hitter that is just gonna hit balls over scoreboards, and if he doesn't get that much of a hold on one, he can hit it in the bullpen. It still counts the same.
Yeah, absolutely. I just on the just since Greg mentioned it, sorry if that came across as an excuse. Ariel Antigua had his chances this year to still play more than he did. He hit poorly, flat out. He's got to hit better. The fact of the matter is, dude's got a glove on him. Tony Vitello and company don't put him in the 9th inning of the College World Series final if they don't believe in that glove.
Yeah,
it just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm. You've
seen plenty of it. You've seen some real flashes of it. Dude can play it short. He's got to hit the ball better if he wants to consistently play there. Yeah. And if you go back to fall ball, a lot of people were saying he was hitting the ball well, and he was going to be your starting shortstop.
Yeah, he's got that high leg kick.
Yeah,
with his bat.
But he gets injured and then doesn't look the same as they were saying in fall ball.
Mm-hmm.
Let's connect the dots there. Let's see him get a full fall again under his belt. Hopefully, stay healthy into the spring. See what happens.
Yeah,
he's got the glove to play short. I'm sorry, I don't think there's any arguing that.
No,
it's about the bat. Can he produce in this lineup?
I mean, defensively, he's probably the best shortstop in the SEC already.
Yeah. No, I don't think you're calling you out. I'm just saying it.
Yeah.
I don't think it. I don't. If I was saying that as an excuse, don't mean to. I'm just saying everyone was saying he was playing well. He gets injured. He's not hitting well. It could just be play, but you're also look at Tennessee's pitchers and go, well, he was doing it against quality.
Right.
And I know it's not the same as a game. Not going to try to frame it that way. And I'm not saying, he gets a year healthy, he's going to be good. I think he's still got to be effective in the lineup for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy being a freshman in the SEC at all. I mean, Cannon Peebles, he wasn't a freshman, but he was hitting well in fall as well, and just couldn't get it done at the plate. Now he had some moments down the stretch, but he just couldn't figure it out to be a consistent part of that lineup.
And I think a lot of guys struggled to be consistent in the lineup, as you see with the rotation at DH. You see with the calls for Cal Stark to come out of the game, only to hit a bomb in the 7th, 8th, 7th.
Yeah.
In the College World Series final. So, I mean, it's definitely not perfect. And I think in an ideal world, Tony Vitello wants Ariel Antigua to be hitting the ball well and playing it short. I don't think he wants to put him on the bench. But also, he's outside of a handful of guys, he's made it pretty clear. Like if you don't produce offensively, we can't.
Yeah, because you got dudes in that lineup right behind you that you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have to just play you to play you. If you're struggling, not getting it done, not giving us the best opportunity to win, you're not going to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think with his glove, he did, and that's why he was in the 9th inning.
No, he gave himself a chance to be in those moments because of the glove, but I have a hard time. It's not a slight to Dean Curley. Made some big plays for you. He also had some errors. I think if Ariel Tuigo is producing anywhere, sniffing what Dean Curley did, he didn't have to be producing in the long ball situation there. Mm-hmm. He's probably the guy short.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they got – Dean Curley was a good prospect coming out of high school, but I think it just kind of worked out perfectly where he just came in, made the most of his opportunity, and there was no taking that away from him after he kind of lit the world on fire.
Yeah, and I think that too also shows the balance of what Tony Vitello and his coaching staff want. They can look at Dean Curley and say, is he our best shortstop? Probably not, but to get him in the lineup, he is our best shortstop. And so that's where we're going to play him. And I think that's the balance of it, and it's why Ariel's got to hit the ball. It's point blank, especially with the dudes coming in.
Yeah, and he's played kind of all over Team USA. He played a little bit of first. And I think that's good to kind of get him because there is so much competition. And like you said, that bat plays, but it's not a guarantee that Dean Curley's your third baseman. You got an all-SEC player. I know he wasn't great at third base, but he is a third baseman coming in, and Andrew Fisher. So there's some competition there. And then you have those freshmen who, for whatever reason, there is at least one freshman every year that comes in and just
is a dude.
Yeah, just you're like, oh, holy crap, who is this guy? It's been Drew Beam, it's been Chase Burns, it's been Christian Moore, Blake Burke, it was Dean Curley last year. Before that, it was Dylan Dreiling. They've always had a freshman come in and play really well.
Well, and that's just with what Ben McKee was saying on the show last time too. That's also only going to keep improving. I'm not saying you get more freshmen, but you're going to see it more consistently where there is because you've got dudes that expect to play, that are good enough to play, come in. And when you see freshmen in the lineup, well, obviously they're going to have more opportunities to produce.
Yeah.
And so it's going to only improve. It'd be cool if you have, two produce, but also when you look at the lineup of veterans, it's also going to be hard for them. So they've got to be kind of good from the jump. You're going to have plenty. Freshmen are going to have opportunities. And then you got to be good. And you got to be good on this team. And you got to be good. You got to be efficient, which is a good problem to have.
Yeah, and Hunter Ensley, perfect example of that. Steady Eddie, not too high, not too low, and that's he's been able to be that constant bat and glove in the lineup where you're not really having to worry about it. Whereas like there was times last year where Blake Burke struggled a little bit. There was times where Billy struggled a little bit. It's going to happen. It's how consistent can you be? And if you're really consistent and, you're probably going to play. I think Fisher could play first. I think he's probably I don't see him playing first. I think he would be more of a I don't think he plays middle infield at all. I think he's either going to be a third baseman, a DH, or he can make his way in the outfield.
I was about to say too, that DH spot is wide open for these guys that hit the ball well. Yeah. It's no one's cemented themselves there.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of incoming freshmen wanting to
that want to be there. Yeah, for sure.
And it is going to be hard. Like Bargo was a really good freshman for Missouri and couldn't find it consistent in this lineup. And next year it's just like it's been before where like who's like coming in next year. Well, next year it's like you don't have a spot. Like there's no spot really for anybody besides Hunter Ensley. And Dean Curley's going to play somewhere. But other than those two guys, there's no like for sure spot. I would think Cannon Peoples is probably your catcher, but I don't know. I heard Stone Lawless is really good too, so we'll see kind of where he's at.
Yeah, absolutely. Loaded with talent.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to hit on?
No, I'm good. Excited about this team for next year, and it's just kind of a reload mentality. I think pitching is going to be. I think Liam Doyle is probably going to be one of your Friday, Saturday guys, if I had to guess. And we'll see kind of, they're in on that JUCO player, the Arvidsson, and then Thomas Crabtree is another JUCO arm, and they got some top freshmen coming in who is supposedly really good. Dylan Moy is going to be – so that's going to be the interesting part. I think you got plenty of bodies in the field. I'm interested to see kind of what that rotation looks like, and because you had to replace basically everybody plus a lot of guys in your bullpen.
Right.
And who knows if AJ Russ, who knows what that timeline looks like for him to be back. So,
honestly,
I think it's one of those things where we kept saying, he could come back this time, he could come back that time, and never did. Also, Greg, that kid from San Diego, I forgot his Ianson, I think it's something like that. He committed to LSU. So I guess we gave him one. There you go, Jay. There's our scraps.
All right, let's do a little football talk, and we'll start it here with some of the best. Greg Berhalter out as the U.S. men's national team coach. It's about dang time. I know Landon's really interested to know who the next coach is. I don't know. I know it's not Jurgen Klopp. I want it to be Jurgen Klopp. It's not Jurgen Klopp. I'd love for it to be Jurgen Klopp.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
You know Jurgen. Good friend of the pod.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we'll see. We ramp it up for the 2026 World Cup in the United States. Got to figure something out. A lot of people thought I shouldn't say think. It's true. Some's on the players. There's some fault to be had in the players. The fact of the matter is the players aren't going to change. I heard Alexi Lawless say this in the same sentence. The players aren't going to change. Well, then he pretty much said you don't have to fire Berhalter. If the players can't change, then they can't because you're tied to a national team. It's like if Tennessee baseball could only take players from the state of Tennessee, and if the head coach is struggling, you're like, well, we know what he has. He can't go out and recruit better. I mean, you got to get rid of the coach. There's one thing you can change the coach. And also, I think Berhalter sucks. I'm not even going to start to defend him. We saw. Listen, Lenny, you saw what Tennessee did when they brought Phil Fulmer back. Sure, it wasn't in the same role, but they brought him back. It only got worse from there. They kind of fire Greg Berhalter, then bring him back, and it gets worse. Just gets worse. They waited too long to pull the trigger. They wasted this Copa America. Screw them all.
Fire everybody.
I agree. Fire everyone. Burn the head offices to the ground. Just don't even play in the World Cup. Just cancel it. Cancel everything. I'll coach the team. I'll take one for the team. I'll coach them. Give me the reins.
So do you have a candidate in mind who it's going to be?
I don't know who the realistic candidate is. It's the next name that is rumored. It came from the same source that said they reached out to Klopp and he turned it down immediately. I can't believe they even reached out because that number is a number they couldn't pay and afford him. It's the dude that coaches the women's French team now.
Lasso.
I'm blanking on his name. Yes. He coached the Saudi Arabia team in the last World Cup. Oh my gosh. What is his name? Hervé Renard. Hervé Renard.
Yeah.
That guy. You've probably seen his video of him running around the locker room giving a speech to the Saudi Arabia team. It's pretty electric. Okay. I think that's the next name on the board. I don't know how realistic that is. So I don't know if it's even a real name again.
Here's my challenge to the men's national team. Win and I'll be a fan. How about that? Fair weather.
Yeah, I think that's what you have to do. I think that's I think in US men's,
it's the same thing with a lot of people in Tennessee baseball. I mean, that many people that was at that parade were not fans 5 years ago.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Win and they will come. Not build it and they will come. Win it and they will come.
Absolutely. I think my candidate, was before the last time we hired Berhalter was Jesse Marsh. He's the Canadian national team coach now. I don't know if you get him, and I don't know if he's really a good candidate for the job or not. He seems to be doing a good job at Canada, so maybe he is. I don't know if he'd leave Canada for the job now. He is an American. Go USA. That's who I wanted the last time around. I don't know. I don't know who you get. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's I guess more football.
You said football talk.
Somebody asked me today at work who's like who's a guy that no one's really talking about who you think has a big year?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not an answer to your question, but it made me think, especially with them taking them at SEC Media Days. I'm even more fired up than I was last year for Keenan Billy. I don't think that answers your question. We just didn't get to see him, and I didn't know.
I mean, I think that's a good one.
But he's going to SEC Media Day. I feel like he's been talked enough because he got injured. Maybe
you just like it. He's getting talked about because he's going to start, but is he being talked about that he could be a difference maker on this team?
Fair.
And maybe he is. I think that's a good one.
Okay, that's fair. I didn't think it answered the question, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's an assist. I mean, you didn't even know you dunked the ball, and you did.
Yeah, it was like when blank on his name now when Coffee Black dunked it for the first time. He didn't know exactly, or alley ooped it for the first time. He didn't know what he did.
Yeah,
he's just like, I did that. Yeah,
that
was it. Yeah, we just saw him against Virginia, Greg. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does. He's old. He's a veteran. They seem to have a lot of trust in him. I'm excited to see him play. Again, Landon thinks it answers this question, and I'm glad it did.
I mean, I'm pretty excited about the linebacker position, whereas like last year, with the loss of Keenan Peely wasn't fantastic. But I think you have some dudes.
Arion Carr.
Yep. Jeremiah T-Lander. I think Edwin Spillman. Caleb Perry. I think you got some good linebackers in there. I think it's an underrated group as a whole, but I do like the pick in Keenan Peely. Also, tribal tattoos. You kidding me?
Culturally appropriate tribal tattoos.
Exactly.
Even better.
Yes, even better. I think I would go, and this might be a hot take, and it might not even answer my own question. I think I'm going to go Squirrel White. And I think the reason why I think he's underrated is like because he was just like by default he was the best option last year.
Slight sophomore slump compared to what you kind of were expecting after his freshman year.
Yeah, and what you have on the outside, like the story is Bruce coming back. You have Chris Brazzell, Dante Thornton looks good. You got 5-star wide receiver Mike Matthews. You got Braylon Staley, who is a talented freshman. But I think Squirrel White just needed a better quarterback. Because, I mean, like the speed's there. I mean, you saw it during his freshman year. The speed has always been there. And I think he's got a little bit more shiftiness to him than Jalen Hyatt did. And, I mean, I don't know who's winning a foot race, but I got to imagine it's pretty close.
Yeah. Real quick, just on the quarterback thing. Not that I think yes. Hopefully Nico's better than Joe. I don't think Joe's phenomenal. Wide receivers dropped a lot of balls last year.
I agree. Yeah.
I know a lot of people want to say, well, he throws the ball really hard, but at least he throws the ball hard consistently. He didn't like one quarterback at Tennessee randomly decide to throw a slant 95 miles per hour outside corner on this. He threw it. The pace at which he threw it at, from what we could see from video, he threw that in practice, and he threw every route like that.
Yeah.
So you should be catching it at some point.
Yeah, it was almost like and
they drop long balls that are floating into their hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a weird because like those same wide receivers are not dropping those kind of passes again with Hendon Hooker.
Right. And again, I get that like some of those slants and those flats are thrown hard, but you get them in practice. The same pace. Yeah. He's not the guy that's changing pace on you all of a sudden.
No.
And also, there were a few balls that there's not another quarterback in the country because they can't throw the ball that hard that fit him into some of the tight zones that I would not recommend anybody throwing him into, even Joe Milton.
Yeah. But I think some of what like Nico should be better at is just
it should be more touch on the ball for sure.
Yeah, well, overall decision making. I think.
Yeah.
Like if a ball's not there, he's not going to chuck it 80 yards in the air down the field. I don't see that. I mean, maybe, but
sick if he did.
Yeah. But I mean, like it just seems like he's got more like taking what the defense gives him, and so that's why I think a guy in the slot really benefits.
For sure, I don't disagree with your overall take. There was just some Joe Milton hate this last week comparing him to said quarterback who decided to throw the ball randomly 95 miles an hour. So I just did want to comment that I don't think the wide receiver group as a whole got enough of the blame for a lot of the issues in the passing game.
And I think some of that goes to like Brew McCoy being hurt.
For sure.
And I think some of those guys played well in his place, but there was definitely a drop off. And I don't know, not really as like I think just an all around like blocking, just that physicality. You just didn't have that with Brew.
And you lost your I need 10 yards. Who do I go to? You lost that guy. And yet it's really hard to replace him.
He didn't have to be open.
Right. Really, really tough to replace a guy like that. I mean, you saw the panic in the fan base, and I'm sure the team felt it a little bit when Cedric Tillman goes down because you didn't know what else you had. Sure, you had guys come out and were able to fill some of that void for him, but also one of those guys was Brew McCoy. And you didn't have anybody that remained from that roster really that played consistently when Brew McCoy went down. But I'm glad you brought that up because that I think 247 wrote an article today or yesterday on it. Most important player in 24 for Tennessee.
Besides Nico, or
I think they're doing a countdown, so they may have mentioned kind of all the names. I think they're just like throwing some out. Actually, the article I read was who I would have probably picked. It's Brew McCoy for me.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think for the reasons we just said, you got a young quarterback. You need a guy that in a situation where you got to go somewhere, I think it's Brew McCoy. You mentioned the blocking ability, the ability to make catches when you're covered. He seems to be a great leader. I think if he has a good year, if he's healthy and a year similar to 2022, I think this team, because I don't think he has to be your star receiver. In fact, I think it's probably bad if he's your star receiver. I just think he has to be there and be the constant. And you have to be able to go to him in situations you have to go to him in. But he's not the guy streaking down the field to score touchdowns more than likely.
I don't know. In this offense,
he could be.
They just find a way to be.
No,
there's no one near him.
He very much could be that guy. I just don't think he has to be that guy.
Yeah,
I think he has to be who he was in 2022 whereabouts.
I like how Ronnie went. I think Cooper Mays, like you saw last year, how big of a part
it's a good one
he is. And Nico, just because of like if he goes down, I mean, we've seen Gaston Moore, and I love me some Gaston Moore. But I think there will be that probably even more so of a panic if he does go down. And that's probably fair because no quarterback is – when you lose your star quarterback, I mean, what team is replacing him with somebody?
2022 Tennessee?
Yeah. And that doesn't happen anymore.
No, it's tough. It's tough to do. You do have
no one's sitting anymore.
You do have a 4-star freshman. He's a freshman, so I'm not like, oh, look you're fine if he goes down.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you have a seasoned guy that's played in the system a ton and a 4-star freshman. I think Tennessee could be in a lot worse situations if the worst case scenario was to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think Nico or Cooper are obvious great picks for that. So I found it interesting when I saw that. I hadn't scrolled down. I was like, I think it might be Brew McCoy. And then the player for today was Brew McCoy. I was like, I really think it might be.
Yeah. The only reason I probably wouldn't go that direction is because you do have depth at that receiver position. But he is such a different
you thought you had depth last year, though, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Ronnie mentioned Ramel Keaton, and it just didn't work out. I legitimately believe, and Alabama fans can say salty, whatever other fans can say it, I legitimately believe Tennessee beats Alabama if Brew McCoy isn't injured. I think the offense plays better. I think you have an outlet. I think things are more calm in the second half. I think you beat Alabama if Brew McCoy's there.
Damn, that would have been so.
It would have been awesome. Would have been so much fun.
Yeah, we'll get him this year.
If he even just plays after that injury too. I love how they're like, we don't know exactly what happened. I was like, I saw it immediately. I saw his bone flash on the screen. Broken. Done.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah. Do you have anybody like you would say like underrated besides Peely? Maybe offensively?
Offensively underrated? I feel like everyone offensively is everyone's kind of high on most of them. I'm interested to see how Caleb Webb and Chaz Nimrod, guys who got to play quite a bit last year. Like you saw them rotate in more than receivers in 2022 and 2021 did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much they'll do it this year with what seems to be a pretty secure top group. I'm curious to see if they kind of make that jump if they get the opportunity to. They missed some plays. They made some plays. Nothing spectacular, nothing detrimental. So I'm kind of curious to see what either of those two guys do that got some opportunities last year, even if they do get those opportunities this year.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point. Those guys, like, I mean, obviously they got recruited over, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Chris Brazzell, Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley. I mean, now I don't know what the depth chart looks like right now, but I got those guys just staying around is impressive.
And it's huge. It's huge for Tennessee. Yeah. I think it could be a different story. I'm not going to bank on it because I saw it happen play out last year. I think it could be a different story this year if Brew McCoy did get hurt, if Squirrel White did get hurt, because you have some veteran guys that have been in the locker room that have been in this system. I think it very, very well could be different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Greg has Boo Carter, and I think he's a guy that, I mean, if he doesn't start, the moment somebody gets beat deep, if Boo Carter isn't out there in some capacity, I'm gonna lose it.
You'll hear him from ZZ 11. I mean, is that where you're at? ZZ 12.
I mean, that's all you hear is when we like talk about these, closed scrimmages. You're like, oh, Boo Carter had a day. Mike Matthews had a day. But are they going to play those guys? I mean, I think Mike Matthews probably has a better shot than Boo Carter from what we know from what this staff does.
Yeah, but wasn't there a freshman, was it a cornerback that was said to be having a phenomenal camp and then just sucked? Who was that?
Warren Burrell.
It was Warren Burrell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did play, I guess.
Pump the brakes. He did play. You're right.
Yeah.
Ronnie, I don't disagree with that. Cameron Seldon, if it wouldn't surprise me. So I'm not going to put Cameron Seldon as a surprise player. Dude's a freak.
As long as he's healthy.
Yeah.
You got to see when he's supposed to get back. I would love if Deshaun Bishop just went out there and just lit it up. That would be awesome.
Oh, it'd be – talk about a parade. We've been having one in Carnes, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Up and down Hardin Valley Road.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I don't really have a lot else for football. I kind of like – it's always easy to start a conversation with like, what do you think we got this year, huh? Everybody I talk to at work, like people on like customers on the phone, they're just like, so what do you think about the Vols, bud? I'm like,
do you act like you do around me where we get real passionate, or are you real kind of like, we'll see?
I kind of like
you're like, they got that good kid at quarterback.
Yeah, I kind of dumb it down, not for them, but I don't act like, I try not to act like
you don't like an insane person.
Yeah, I'm just like, I mean, we could like got a new quarterback in there. I think he's gonna throw it around a little bit, and we'll see what happens, kind of thing. That's kind of how I like to.
Today we had a supplier that came in talking to me, and he turned out to be a Georgia fan. He had just moved here, and the other guy with him was like, I'm trying to get him to convert, and the guy was like, I never will. And I was like, I mean, I don't like you for that, but I respect it. Like, you can't convert just because you move here. And we started talking football, and then it turned to like how hot Georgia was as a state. I ended up talking to this dude's ear off for like I started out real kind of like, yeah, I know there's some good kids out of the state of Georgia, always has been, blah, blah, it's And then like he brought up, I can't remember who brought up some name, and like we ended up like diving deep. And I had him there for like 20 minutes talking about the state of Georgia and the recruiting hotbed it is. I tried not to do that. I just want to warn you.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. How did we get here?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't try to just show my passion too much.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold people over for 30 minutes.
Well, yeah, and it's like I don't know the kind of fan they are, so I don't want to just like talk their ear off and they're like,
right.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
Yeah, they're like, I barely know who the head coach is anymore.
Yeah.
I know he doesn't like asparagus.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong guy.
Yeah.
They're still dropping the Butch. Some people out here still dropping like the Butch Please comments.
Yeah. Former was a good one.
Yeah. Had like 6 since then. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he was an AD too.
We fired him twice.
Yeah. He was like the men's national coach.
Yeah. We've actually done that before with Bruce Arena. So, yeah. We're big fiery hire guys around here.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it didn't work the first time, it damn sure ain't going to work the second time.
Why not try it, though? You know? They always say it doesn't, but why not find out? I mean, we'll see what happens. Every time I've left a job, they've been like, well, we have a place for you if you want to come back. That's just what we tell our guys on the way out, you know?
Yeah, they did a 2 weeks notice.
Yeah. They left in good standing, for sure.
Yeah. You think Kiffin did his 2 weeks notice?
Yeah. I don't think he got the.
I don't think he got the. Didn't get it after when we hired.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He was on the do not hire list.
Yeah.
Anything else for football? We ready to hit some segments?
Yeah, let's go to some segments here. I do have a question.
Okay.
I think it's about baseball, so I forgot to get to it, but we'll do it. It's from All Ball Everything. It says, could either Curley or Antigua play outfield next year so both can be in the defensive lineup, not DH? ? How do the coaches handle it if not?
Dude, let me see Erling Antigua's little self run around the outfield. He wouldn't look small in Lindsey Nelson, but in Omaha, man. Whew.
Yeah. You might forget he was out there. They're like, oh, man, they got 8 players.
Yeah, it's already shocking to see him at short when a ball comes in like hot and high.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you look at him, you're like, I mean, can he throw it?
That video of him and Blake Burke like flipping each other off, he's so much smaller than Blake Burke. It's like that. It could have been a worse player to do that next to.
Yeah. I think we kind of alluded to it a little bit. I think if anybody is going to the outfield, I think it's Andrew Fisher makes that jump to the outfield. I just think like glove wise, I think he is probably the most shaky of the 4 guys that we're kind of talking about. I mean, I guess he could play first if, you know, say the Radicek goes to the pros, then somebody's got to play first. I don't know who that is. But I think it is kind of like figure it out when you get there. But if I'm going to pick it today, I think I go Curley at third, kid from Niagara at first, Keelan at second, Antigua at short, and Andrew Fisher left, Hunter Ensley in center, Reese Chapman in right, Peebles at catcher, and I think Bargo's probably your DH.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I would predict it right now. It's probably going to be completely wrong when we get to the first game, but that's where I would probably go first.
I like it.
All right. Stupidity.
Before that, can I do a most important of the week, or I'll forget?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you see where 44-year-old JD, I'm going to mess up his name, JD Scholten, he's an Iowa State representative, I think in the State House, threw 6 2/3 innings for their local minor league team the other night.
What?
Yeah, they ran their team ran out of pitchers. They had to pitch like 13 innings one night. Then their starter for Saturday showed up sick. Head coach, they have like restrictive roster rules, so I guess they can't use like other minor league players because they're not affiliated with the MLB with the new structuring. He said it was July 4th weekend. Everybody else he called, like former like college players, stuff like that, were out of town. So he called the state representative. 90 minutes, dude rolls up to the stadium, throws 6 2/3. I don't know if they ended up winning or not. I think they did. Which is hilarious. You got beat by a 44-year-old starting pitcher who hadn't thrown a ball in Lord knows how long.
What would have been also funny if he just got freaking destroyed. He had like 20 earned runs.
That would have been bad for the brand.
Yeah.
Would have been real bad.
Still got it.
I wonder if I feel like as a 44-year-old, if you do that, you're like, all right, I'm back, coach. Sign me to a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
He probably had Tommy John like a week ago or something.
The rookie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How old was he in the rookie? Isn't that a true story?
Dennis Quaid? I don't know.
I don't see the win-loss there.
Stupidity. I don't know if Joey's still in here, but I'm going to say him for, coming in hot on a post that we posted a question, what's your favorite Tennessee tradition? I mean, he went right for choking in March. I guess he just hates everything.
Yeah, he kind of forgot about that national championship.
Yeah. It goes choking in March, Vols letters, Rocky Top.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough.
I could see like Barstool, Kentucky saying that, but my boy Joey just in for the kill.
Yeah. I didn't forget about this March. I know Rick Barnes.
Sure.
I don't define that as choking. I'm only kidding. My stupidity, and Ronnie mentioned it, what's your all's take on Gundy's quote about drinking and driving? All-time hilarious. Baffling. Not that people would agree with you, but just go the Saban route. Be like, we handled it internally. Instead of coming out, I guess he took most of the story off his players, so I guess he was successful. But just to be like, yeah, we've all done that. I've done that a million times. What? I'm not saying you're – I'm just saying, why do you say that aloud in front of national media?
Well, he would love to be in Athens.
He's like, I'm drunk right now. I flew my plane here drunk. All time stupid moment. When he started saying that, the SID just walked out. He's like, what am I even doing here? There's no coming back.
Yeah, he would love to be he would fit in great in Athens because they just can
reckless driving charges,
arrested,
pile it up.
It's like, good God. Is that part of your recruiting pitch? Is like, do you have to go a certain speed for your car to just not turn off?
Hey, have you ever thought about playing football for Georgia? Have you ever thought about street racing? Someone else, another Georgia, like, I don't know what they are. Some account tweeted, they went full Mike Gundy. They're like, everyone everyone speeds. There's so much street racing in the United States. Like, I speed, so I'm not going to condemn someone for speeding. It's like, listen, everyone speeds. You're not wrong. Is it safe? Not at the rate a lot of people do it. Not at the rate a lot of Georgia players have been pulled over. And also, if like all my brothers have been arrested for speeding in the last few months, I probably wouldn't speed. I'd probably be like, someone's out to get us.
Yeah.
I'm not going to speed.
At this point, if like you haven't got arrested for reckless driving at Georgia, like you're missing out. Like,
yeah, you're an outsider.
Now it's like, dude, like what are you doing on the weekends?
They're building a special holding cell for Georgia football.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like $1 billion facility. It's gonna have ice baths in it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just go there after practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's absolutely the stupidity going around and all of that is insane. For Mike Gundy to think that was gonna get people off his back, mind-boggling. Yeah. Mind-boggling. And then factor in what Georgia's doing right now. At what point does Kirby Smart just start taking away everybody's keys? Athens isn't that big of a town. We can afford to Uber y'all everywhere.
How about give them like I was going to say Can they do scooters? Like,
No, that would be so much worse. Stop.
I was gonna say maybe a boat, but I think that is way worse.
That boat's 1,000 times worse.
Scooter
just injures them when they speed on it and act dumb.
Yeah, can we give them like a moped? Like that goes like 10 miles an hour or something?
What's the fascination with street racing anyways? Like, you get out there and you're like, yeah, let's race to the next red light a block away. What's the fun in that?
And like a lot of them are like on campus. It's like, how fast are you even able to go?
And this isn't like in the middle of the night in the boonies.
Yeah.
There is a spot in South Knoxville. I've never been a part of it. I can hear them sometimes if I'm at a certain location. It's insane, the cars you hear over there.
Yeah.
Never heard police sirens, though. They're onto something.
Nope. I mean, we've all like sped. Like we've done that.
Not 20. I don't think I've ever gone 20 miles over there. I shouldn't say never.
People at Georgia that get caught. It's like,
dude, I haven't even been pulled over on 11E before in the speed trap. I mean, golly.
Oh yeah.
Dang. Sam just said it in Landon's top 5 movies. Fast and Furious. Yeah. You can't condemn them. You're out. You can't condemn Georgia anymore.
That's true, actually. I do love some Fast and Furious.
That's what like all of them are just gonna like if I was a Georgia player, I'd just be dropping like Paul Walker memes all the time.
I mean, I think it would be hilarious if a new Grand Theft Auto came out and there was like a certain map that you could pay like a couple bucks for, and it's just like the city of Athens, and you just go like fly around.
You gotta get to work on that.
Yeah.
You can't play the game on Saturdays because you got a game to play in. It's just closed. It's blacked out.
Yeah.
Actually, it imports the NCAA for Saturdays, and you gotta.
All right. Yeah, I like that. It's just like an extra part of the game.
Yeah.
Your 3 days, you can't actually play the game. You have to play that for the 3 days until it's actually released.
Yeah, instead of recruiting, if you're the head coach at Georgia, you have to jump into Grand Theft Auto and like bail your players out of jail. Oh, please don't let staff members drive them around, Kirby. We've seen how that experiment goes.
Oh God. My first stupidity is Shadur Sanders.
I thought your first was Joey.
Was who?
Joey.
Oh yeah. Okay, my second. Is Shadur Sanders is that we know we're everybody's Super Bowl. I mean, does this we talk about Kirby Smart being like, oh, you're an underdog. I mean, no one has like convinced everybody else that they're good like Colorado has. Does everybody forget they won 4 games last year?
Yep, they do. I don't know how.
I mean, it's unreal.
We watched it every week on freaking College Game Day. We heard their record. We saw them fold at Arizona State. I mean, we saw the mayhem at Stanford. Like, why are we still talking about the team? Win something.
We're everybody's Super Bowl.
I get it. It's Deion Sanders. Cool. He's not playing.
It's unreal. Unreal. Everybody's Super Bowl. I mean, who does Colorado even play next year? Can we look at that? I don't even know like what they're.
I don't care. I'm gonna be honest. I don't care. So I'm not gonna look.
That's true.
I don't care. We don't care. We don't care.
Because maybe it is factual with like who they play, but okay, they're if this is really it, this is cake. North Dakota State, they might lose.
They played in the Pac-12 last year. It can't get much easier, if any.
Well, now they're in the Big 12.
Don't they open with Nebraska?
They have North Dakota State, then Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
But they play like it's the Big 12, except Texas and Oklahoma is nowhere to be found in it. They added Utah.
Oh wow, yeah. You're not gonna score. You're not gonna score on them.
Yeah.
Shadur Sanders might get one. He might get one.
That's so dumb.
That team's gonna be awful again. You can quote that. Deion, put it up in the locker room.
Yeah,
I ain't watching that. I ain't watching that Super Bowl. I promise you that.
Yeah, I hope they lose game 1. That would be hilarious.
100%.
Yeah, I think Shadur he'll probably be 98 overall. They have Arch Manning, who hasn't played a down of football, as an 87 overall.
They kind of had to rate him higher because of the commercial. Like they put themselves in a corner.
Yeah, that was pretty cool though.
It was, and I love that the Mannings are like, pay us and you can do whatever you want with our name.
Yeah. Do you have any more stupidities?
No, that's it for me.
I got one more, and it's Sports Center. They tweeted about Jazeer Jackson, who is one of the top offensive tackles in this 2025 class. He committed to Georgia. He's 6'11".
That dude's huge.
Yeah, cool. Like he's going to drive a fast car here in a few years. We all know that. But the fact that they put this graphic out, him 6'11" next to Bronny James at 6'2", what does that have to do with anything?
You could have picked anybody at 6'2".
Yeah. I mean, why not like Giannis is or Kevin Durant's 6'11"? That would be more impressive than putting Bronny James at 6'2" next to him. It makes no sense.
It's not like people talk about Bronny James being huge either. What's the point?
Yeah.
It's like the buzzword. It's like landing with Jeter earlier. Like, how can we mention Bronny James? Like, we got to mention we haven't tweeted about Bronny James today. How do we do it?
I hate that you put me in that, but it was funny.
It's called comedy. Callbacks.
Yeah. One thing I do want to mention, Kim Caldwell. Recruiting.
She's recruiting. She can recruit.
I mean, she's already landed better recruits than Kelly Harper ever did.
Oh gosh, don't get all them started. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got.
That's it for me. It's been fun, guys. Hour and 30, easy breezy.
Yeah. We got some big news coming up, so be on the lookout for that. And thank y'all for listening. Have a good weekend. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.